All right, today on Malinois Madness, we're going to talk about something else. We're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about what I think is most important in the sport of IGP. That's the sport I compete in. That's what the channel is surrounded for, is competing with my Malinois. So one of the first things that I think is super duper important, finding a good club. You should travel around, find a good club. There's lots of clubs under lots of different umbrellas. In the IGP world, there's DVG, AWDF, GSDCA. There's many more. There's many more. And there's a whole bunch of clubs underneath that umbrella. So that should give you lots of options to look at as far as clubs go. So as far as clubs go, you want to go out there and you want to see what they're about, see what their training is about, see if they're good with each other, they're working to help each other. They're not all about working for themselves. They're not talking a whole bunch of trash about each other. And that's the problem with the dog world. In a lot of other sports, every sport you go to, you go sit in the stands and people are going to be talking trash about the other team, about the other players, about players on the team that they're supporting. So dog sports are no different, and sometimes it can be demotivating to go out there and see that. But you just have to keep your goals in mind and try to have fun with it and find the right people to train with. That's important. And, just travel around and see if you can find somewhere where the people seem to have the same goals as you and the same values, and they want to work towards helping each other and creating a good environment. So go out and see a few clubs, and I wouldn't even take my dog if I had one at the time. I would just go out there and want to see, and most clubs will invite you to come out and watch for a few times, and they won't charge you or make you pay club dues or anything like that. Okay, number 4. I think you need to have the right dog for what your expectations are. If you want to try to go out there with a poodle and do it, you're gonna have a lot of problems. So have the right dog. And if you talk to a breeder about getting a dog, that breeder should talk to you for a couple hours on what you really want out of the dog and what your goals are. If they don't do that, that can be a problem. So you want to ensure that you're trying to find the right dog for your level of training to try to reach your goals. Because if you have a dog that's too high and dry for your training skills, that can be really frustrating. It can also get dangerous because that dog could try to overpower you in some ways. So you want to find a dog that matches your capabilities so you guys can work in harmony and have fun together, and it's not this huge struggle because the dog's too powerful for the dog or too weak for you, depending on your skill set and the way that you train. This video is more geared towards people that are just getting into the sport, that have thought about doing the sport, and maybe want to just see what it's all about. So finding the right dog is important. Number 3, what are your expectations for the sport? If you think you want to do IGP, what are your expectations? Is your expectation just to get a BH, which is a basic title, to get a 3, which is a lot of work? IGP is a lifestyle. IGP takes a lot of work to get a 3. To get a 1 is a lot of work. There's a lot of dedication. And if you want to compete at a regional or national level, that's like a lifestyle. IGP is life, and you are pretty much training every single day, and you're working really hard to reach a perfection level so you can place high. I don't think many people go to a regional or national and say, hey, I just want to show. And there's some people out there that want to do that for the experience, but at the end of the day, in the back of their mind, they want to place high and they want to show well and not come in at the very bottom just to say they got some experience. Okay? So you want to keep your expectations realistic so you're fair to your dog as well. If you have unrealistic expectations, what that's going to do is it's going to make you pressure your dog harder. It's going to make you do things that maybe you've seen or shouldn't do. And it's just going to make it not fun at the end of the day. And if you're not having a good time doing it and training is not fun, it's going to take away all your motivation. And there's always going to be times when training your dog is not fun for a sport because your dog's going to start doing something they've never done before, and they're going to not get what you're trying to teach them, or you're teaching them incorrectly, and it just becomes this big battle and conflict. And there's going to be times when that happens. It's not fun. Your dog doesn't want to track. Your dog doesn't want to do this. Your dog doesn't want to out the bite. There's a lot of things that can happen here and that can create frustration. So make your expectations realistic. Don't say, hey, I'm getting into IGP and I want a trial in 2 months for a 1 or a BH. Keep your expectations realistic and have fun with it. Number two is to trust your gut feeling. If you go somewhere and you see some training that you don't agree with, or somebody says, hey, we should do this with your dog, and you don't feel right about it, don't do it. Don't do it. If you're going to places and sometimes you'll see some people do some crazy stuff with their dogs, and they're like, you should do this. I recommend you don't do that. Hypothetically, for instance, and this is just me, and this is just my point of view. If somebody ever asked me to put my IGP dog on a bite suit, I am not going to do that. I'm not going to do that ever. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why I would not, and that's for a different video, but I would not do that. No matter how much they told me or said I had to do it, I would not do it. Because it's going to eventually, it's showing my dog a different picture that's not clear for the sport. So therefore, I'm not going to do it. If you see other people do things that you think you would never want to do to your dog, trust your gut and don't do it. Don't do it. That's super important. Like with anything in life, if it feels wrong, don't do it. Or just say, hey, I would like to see somebody else do it. Or this isn't right for me. You have that power. And if you feel it's unsafe for you or your dog, don't do it. Be safe out there. This should be fun. It should be a fun sport. Yes, it's stressful when you step on that field, but it should be fun. So if you see something that you don't agree with, just trust your gut and don't do it. That segues into have fun. You should have fun. You should be with people that are having fun, that are cheering you on, that are setting you up for success, and you're doing your part to help set them up for success. It can't be a one-way street that you go to a club and you're sitting back and the only time you interact with people is for them to help you. Be an interactive part, even if you're just being a spotter, telling them when your dog's tail is wagging or when the dog is moving in the correct position. Help them help you. So have fun with it. And that's a great way to learn too. And the number one most important thing I think in IGP is to know the rules. If you do not know the rules and you do not understand how the rules work, you're setting yourself up for failure. Rules are super important with anything we do, with football, with hockey, with wrestling, with any type of sports that you do, MMA, the rules are the utmost importance. So know the rules, know the scoring criteria, know what's most important. You need to know that. And now in IGP, emotion is one of the most important things you can see out of a dog. And that's a whole different thing to go into. So all the things that I talked about are very, very important. And are there some other things that may be super important? But for the beginner, the person starting out, the person looking to get into the sport, I would say those are super important things. The rules, the club, the people you're associated with, the way you feel about your training, the way you feel about the people training your dog, all of those things are super important. So if you come up with something else that you think is ultra important, put that thing in the comments and I can talk about that further. And I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you supporting the channel. And I appreciate all your comments and interactions. Thanks for watching.